Nothing wastes time. Faith is great, but without work it is dead. Faith needs to be backed up by work. And when it comes to working in the great work, we must think about many things. First of all, we must control our tongues in no way, so as not to be interested in what is said, the vulnerabilities, what others think of us, etc. Let us remember those phrases that passing. I bought in one of my books, I am not more because I am praised, or less because I am reviled, because I am always what I am. Then I took the name of Thomas à Kempis, who saw the imitation of Christ. In esoteric society, although in the monastery where I lived, that was ignored. Ignored. Undoubtedly, among the monasteries of the Middle Ages, there were initiates, some of them, even very likable. It is enough to remember the famous Rubble. He wrote very intelligent works, a bit humorous. Anyone who reads them, the Dead Letter, might suppose that Rabel was a clown. One can laugh less than reading the Alga and the Pentagram. Even the titles of those you see are funny. However, when one knows how to grasp his manifestation, one comes to realize that it was certainly a great effort to try to save himself from the bonfire of the institution. And miraculously, he was saved. Miraculously. On one occasion, inside the church, he took the place of St. Francis. It seemed like a statue of the Bacillus, because they were a bit like clowns. From there, the other monks took him out and made him spend several days in a spit. But soon, in his always humorous way, he managed to give something that was right for him, and that almost cost him the stake. In any case, many initiates dedicated to the great work worked intensively during their age, and even lived inside the same monasteries, of Roman Catholicism. Confused with the clergy? Yes, of course. They drew lots for certain hours of the night for their meetings. All this is quite interesting, isn't it? The work is what counts, my dear brothers. It is what matters. But many morals are needed. We must not have preferences for anyone. We must treat both the rich and the poor with the same love, without preference, because if we only treat the rich and the poor with much love, we will need them. And we are undoubtedly not prepared for the great work. The tongue, for example, is a very small organ, isn't it? We want a great voice that ignites you. Whoever manages to control the tongue controls the text, because they are two pores of the same thing. Many people suffer with the issue of sexual problems with their lusts, with their desires. By controlling the tongue, sex is controlled, and the whole body in general is controlled. Look at a horse, no matter how big it is. You put a bit in its mouth, lie on it, and control it. The same is true of the tongue. If we control it, the whole body falls into place. It is very interesting to know how to control the tongue. Specific, necessary, indispensable qualities for the great work. All the brothers of the Northern Movement are preparing for the great work. Today, of course, too much cannot be demanded of them. We are not in the kindergarten stage, but if they persevere, they are patient, if they control the word, if they acquire the necessary qualities, one day they will finally be able to be in the great work. In any case, it is obvious that the great work corresponds, let's say, to very advanced stages of the esoteric. You are all, let's say, preparing your fires, preparing the fire. Someday you will have achieved the complete preparation of the fire. That will be when you will begin the great other. Speaking from the alchemical point of view, I would say that I am referring to the brothers who are working on the forging of the cycles of impermanence, possess what we could call in alchemy the green lion. Obviously, when you move on to work on the great work, you will already have the red lion on. You have alchemy to the green lion, the incipient fire, without higher development. And what is alchemy by the red lion? The fire, already fully developed. The sulfur symbolizes the one already completely mixed with the metodium, which signifies the spirit. It is clear that only through developed fire, that is to say, only through those powers symbolized by the red lion, already reach the alchemical transmutation of lead into gold, can one already really reach the point of converting the superior extra-essential bodies of the beings into pure gold. Those are stages, let's say, of the already very advanced inner development. In that regard, I repeat, you only work with the green lion. You are preparing your fires for the great work. In this state of preparation, they must take stock in order to know exactly what is inhuman and what is human about them is human about them. The inhuman elements must be eliminated and the human elements must be acquired. That is indispensable. Unfortunately, and this is the most painful thing, current humanity, or to speak more precisely, the humanoids that populate the face of the earth certainly have nothing human about them, because if we look at a human or humanoid machine, we will find within it an organic, vital seed. That is all. And far beyond the physical and vital body, which is the seed of life, we find the ego, the I. We know the mind, the self. Obviously, there is nothing beautiful about that ego, that is to say, a sum of aggregates, that personify our errors. Aggregates? Rather, they possess animalistic figures. The most unpleasant thing is to know that the essence of consciousness is pulled up, constrained, and stuffed between these animalistic figures. So, between these aggregates that together constitute what we call minimalism, equalism, and as you see, well, the state we find ourselves in is very unfortunate. We are simply more controlled by the various components that make up the ego. Yeah. We came into the world because we had a father and a mother who sexually united. And as a result, we came to this world. How interesting it is to see how we are formed within that body, within the maternal body. That is to say, how our material vehicle or planetary body developed and unfolded in the womb. Obviously, it was a germ that penetrated the maternal organism. That germ developed and unfolded. It was born at the right time and became a sexual product.
After birth, that particular germ continues to grow and develop further.
We go through the stage of childhood in the development process, through adolescence, until we reach youth. But the interesting thing is that all these problems, starting with that of simple conception, had as their ultimate cause the sexual union of our father and our earthly mother. The various metamorphoses that the maternal womb went through were obviously extraordinary. The fact of being born did not end the process of development of the gene. That's right. Many people believe, and this is quite unfortunate, that an adolescent can already have sexual relations perfectly. There is no doubt that adolescents of our time procreate before the age of 21. That has proven to be true, because the germ has not finished developing and they are already having sex. It is beyond any criminal doubt. They should wait until they come of age. COPD can only be performed from the age of 21 onwards. Before that, the results of such a time-consuming process are all disastrous for the later states of the human race. Full sexual lichens. In ancient times, no adolescent copulated. Today, that sense of moral responsibility has been lost. They think that because they are adolescents, the development of the human germ has already ended. And that is not that.
If you pay attention to me, if you follow my dissertation calmly, you will be able to understand what I mean. Once you accept the process of development of that germ that is present in the womb, post-fruition is possible. Or in any case, the basic foundation of all the processes, the roots of all their causes, we will undoubtedly find in the sexual act of the father. See how interesting, how everything is linked in 100, like a loving union of a germ that goes through multiple metamorphic developments. If there had not been the copulation of those parents, indisputably and irrefutably, we would not exist in this world. And that copulation was basic to our existence. This same mother in whose womb we live during the state of pregnancy or confinement goes through multiple breaths. For example, preparing from the beginning to feed the creature. What are they going to do? Her hips widen for childbirth, and her entire organism undoubtedly goes through several wonderful changes. The child is born if it is male. We can follow all his during the first 7 years of life. The Samael layer works. It produces certain cells for existence. Nothing more. Then we develop under the lunar influence. From 7 to 14 years of age, we pass through the sanctuary of Mercury. The child develops the desire to go to school, to play, to no longer sit still, to go out into the street, etc., 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 etc. It is obvious that when reaching this age, the second testicular layer is active. It produces certain hormones that clearly define its being. And from 14 to 21 years of age, the third layer is circular. It is clear that from 14 to 21 we develop under the influence of Venus.